Hey guys, welcome back to the Crisis. Once again, this is your host, Pendy Gamer, and today's video, I'm going to be doing some more gameplay on Battlefield 1 and presumably a few other games. Right? If you guys don't remember my last video, I did reviews on this Samsung tab and this acer nitro laptop. Well, with the case of the acer laptop, I showcase some gameplay to give you an idea of what the performance is like with the upgraded stats, right? So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do like a whole video on that to show you exactly how the performance is rather than just giving like 30 seconds of footage, right? It's gonna be like me just playing a random game. The only difference here is that throughout the video I'm going to switch through some of the settings, right, from ultra to medium to whatever, to see how much of a jump the FPS is, right? So with that being said, let's get on right into it and let's see how well this game lasts. Right, I have all the stats up there in the corner. You can see the damage. Now in my review video, when I show you the footage, the RAM intake was under 8 gigs, and now here with playing the game itself for extended period of time, you see the RAM goes over 8 gigs, right? If you guys don't know, I upgraded my RAM to 16 for my 8 gig, which gives me more leeway to use apps and whatnot without worrying about clocking out the RAM overloading it. Because games like Battlefield 1 and Tomb Raider, which I will get to in a future video, they use up a lot of RAM. It's pretty good, so I'm gonna let it sink in right here. I'm just gonna show you what 1080p ultra settings look like before we start switching up the stats.
We could hear them before we saw them. Armored vehicles coming from the enemy fort.
But you didn't have your equipment anymore.
There were crates of enemy weapons in the lodges that we scavenged and prepared ourselves with. We could hear them before we saw them. Armored vehicles coming from the enemy fort.
But you didn't have your equipment anymore.
There were crates of enemy weapons in the lodges that we scavenged and prepared ourselves with.
Alright, so I know I died there, but it's not really about how good I am, and it's mostly displaying the power of the PC. Alright, now I'm gonna as you see here, it says ultra settings. I'm gonna drop down to high to see how much difference it is in terms of the performance. Right, remember I using fraps to record this. Right, so there's a bit of a performance drop while recording. That's why you see the FPS is not as high as you think. Right, so you see here the FPS is about a 4 to 5 extra, not that much. It's a bit more smoother gameplay here. The dips are not as frequent on high versus ultra. The FPS are much closer to 60, so it's much more playable on high. So if I you, even though I would still stick to playing on ultra, I'd recommend you go for the high setting when you play in this game. It's definitely much more playable, and it still has that high quality. It still has that high quality visual look to it. So there.
We could hear them before we saw them. Armored vehicles coming from the enemy fort.
But you didn't have your equipment anymore.
There were crates of enemy weapons in the lodges that we scavenged and prepared ourselves with.
Oh shit.
We could hear them before we saw them. Armored vehicles coming from the enemy fort.
But you didn't have your equipment anymore.
There were crates of enemy weapons in the lodges that we scavenged and prepared ourselves with.
Okay, well that actually looks pretty good. Now if you don't mind me, I'm just going to do another drop here. I'm just gonna adjust the settings to medium to see how much better it will run. Just remember, I am locked to 60 FPS here, right? And it's running with fraps, so it won't be an exact representation of how much FPS you're getting. But if you look here, it's clocking at 60, right? And it's dipping into the 45 for like about a second, but it's majority at 60. This video is really recorded 60 FPS, so if you play it in medium setting, you're probably gonna get above 60 FPS with this graphics card and this processor, which is pretty good, right? The visuals still look pretty good here. It's not as sharp, but it's still pretty clean. Oh shit. Boom. Oh man, they're really mashing the hell out of me. Okay, so if you guys notice on the display unit, the RAM is still high. That's because this game just uses RAM by default. Visual settings is not going to change that. Right. Oh, and I did again. Oh damn it, I'm not good at this game at all, guys. But as you can see, the frames are pulling a lot better, right? It's more consistent and more smoother. So if you want the best experience, go in medium settings. If you want a balance of the medium, of the gameplay, you want a balance of the gameplay and the visual, go in the high settings. If you're an eye candy kind of guy, just go for ultra. Alright, and you're good to go. Plain and simple, guys. Alright, so here I'm just going to put in alright, so guys, so here I'm going to show you, this is playing the game on ultra settings without recording with fraps, right? And thing is on my phone, so it's just me playing the game on ultra settings. You see the frame rates are very consistent here, it's not dipping, right? That's the whole problem when you play this game and you record it using fraps. It dips quite a good bit, because fraps use up 10% to record it while playing. Alright, now here's a bit here by MSI Afterburner. This is the settings I'm using. It's pretty much stock settings. I didn't adjust anything, right? So everything is like basically on its default setting here in terms of the the overclocking, whatever, right? So it pretty much gives you an idea of how much of where it stands with this graphics card and how it can be impact your performance if you go from this to some overclocking, right? So I guess I pretty much sums up my video here on Battlefield 1 actual gameplay. Yes, I know I was stuck on the same spot in the game for like 13 minutes or so, but whatever, it's not really that big a deal. As long as I get the gist idea of how well the game performs, that all that matters. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what game you want to see me play on this laptop in the comment section down below. I guess I'll see you guys later.